Let's go now to reaction from Europe. There's been more coordinated action from EU finance ministers who are reaffirming commitment to at least some constraints. My colleague Xi Tianxin looks at new rulings concerning debt and budget deficits.
Under the Stability and Growth Pact, governments are not allowed to have budget gaps of more than 3% of their gross domestic product and debts no higher than 60%. Rules also urge governments to aim for balanced books, but make some allowance for deficits to widen if the economy is worsened. If such a gap grows too far above 3%, the EU will start a disciplinary procedure that could end in fines. But if a move above 3% is small and is a result of exceptional circumstances outside government's control, no disciplinary procedure will be launched. The job now is for member states to look at ways to implement the principles agreed in Paris over the weekend.
All Eurogroup representatives, all ministers of finance of the Eurogroup have endorsed the G4 declaration, and we're now going to move into operational mode in respect of banks, in respect of flexibility for state aid purposes, in respect of flexibility for accounting principles in relation to illiquid assets. And that's the work that we're going to do now.
The European Central Bank has also urged the markets not to swing to the other side of the pendulum by overestimating the level of risk.
Je pense que nous sommes maintenant dans un moment.
I think after having underestimated the risks, a great number of private actors are now overestimating them, which of course is an extreme handicap for the financial and the money market. For my part, I am calling on all actors to show responsibility, courage and confidence.
Meanwhile, the Commissioner for Economic and Monetary Affairs also said unilateral action should be avoided in future financial market interventions.
We must absolutely avoid the negative consequences of unilateral moves. This has already created a good number of problems for some member states, and we must absolutely put the brakes on this risk.
As part of wider efforts to adopt a common approach on tackling banking crisis, finance ministers from the EU's 27 member states will on Tuesday adopt principles to keep the bloc's internal market rules intact. Xi Tianxin, CCTV.
If you just joined us, we're giving you the latest on the global financial crisis. Let's move now to London. Britain's Chancellor Alistair Darling says Europe must work together to tackle problems in the banking system. Zhang Rui has that part of the story.
The head of the British Bankers Association, Angela Knight, also issued a warning against the possibility that the UK government may offer an unlimited guarantee to savers if a bank fails. The prospect of such a move rose over the weekend after a number of European countries issued 100% guarantees. The Chancellor of the Exchequer told lawmakers in the lower house that it's essential for European countries to coordinate their response to the global financial turmoil.
Financial transactions are at the heart of everything we do. They allow people to buy goods, pay for services, buy homes, save for pensions and invest. So it is essential that we take action both to support the banking system as a whole, as well as being ready to intervene in particular cases where it's necessary to do so. It's not a case of either doing one or the other. Both general support and individual intervention are necessary. And we need too to work with other countries to tackle the causes of these problems as well as dealing with their consequences.
His comments follow unilateral moves by Ireland, Germany, Austria, Greece and Denmark to guarantee bank deposits. So far, Britain has raised its deposit guarantee only to £50,000, but the British government is under pressure to guarantee all deposits. In his statement, Darling urged better cooperation among European allies, but said Britain is ready to do whatever is necessary to protect banks and depositors. Meanwhile, French President Nicolas Sarkozy announced on Monday that all the leaders of EU member countries have pledged to take measures to ensure the stability of the financial system. Sarkozy said such measures may include injecting liquidity from the central banks, targeted measures for individual banks, or reinforcement of bank deposit guarantees. He added that EU leaders will continue to take all the required steps to protect the system. Zhang Rui, CCTV.